Welcome to Upturned Table, and today we have something very special to look at, and it's this. But this will need a little bit of explanation before we get started, so it all started with this. So in 2014, Free League released Mutant Year Zero. So this is the English translation of the latest evolution of the game Mutant, or Mutant is more accurate Swedish pronunciation. The original Mutant was published in 1984, and it was the second game that Äventyrsspel, the Swedish role-play company, published. The first being, of course, Drakar och Demoner, the Dragons and Demons. And, of course, like the previous ones, it was based on the Year Zero system. So from Mutant Year Zero, of course, I recognized the mutant part and had been playing Warzone and knew of Mutant Chronicles through Doom Trooper. So I was wondering if there was any sort of connection, and I read bits and pieces on the internet that there in fact was. So on this channel, we've done a long series of the Mutant Chronicles lore, and to support the now defunct role-playing game, the 3rd edition of the role-playing game that Modiphius was producing for the 2D20. And I wanted to look at the history a little bit between the original Mutant, and what became first Mutant Year Zero, and then also Mutant Chronicles along the way. So this book will be the history of that. So the first pieces of this that we saw were in this, the collector's book that was produced by Modiphius for Siege of the Citadel. So along with a physical version of all the PDFs that they produced, there is a small history section in the back. And here we go. So there's a flip through of this whole book on the channel as well. I'll link to that in the description. But this was the connecting pieces. So Cult and Mutant is what kind of formed the bones of the setting for Mutant Chronicles. So this is more, of course, focused on the history of Siege of the Citadel, but it had a lot of early art for Doom Troopers and things that made me realize there was a whole history that in English we were missing. So this is the first time in English we've seen some of these, and then some great Paul Bonner art. But this book, as you can see, is not glossy. It's an okay reproduction of some of these things, but a little bit disappointing. So sorry, Modiphius. But this is a thing of beauty. So I missed the Kickstarter that was supporting this book, but this book is Mutant, and this is the Swedish version. So the title is Memories from the Forbidden Zone. So similar to Tarkovsky's Stalkers, or the Stalker video game, or Metro 2033. Those are all set in a post-apocalyptic world that revolves around forbidden zones and mutations and conflict and survival. This is the history of Mutant. So starting with the original RPG in 1984 and going all the way to this. So there's artwork and descriptions of things, and a little bit about how difficult this was to get. So we're based in Japan, and I found this on a website. The company that produces this is Fandrake, and Fandrake is made up of Orvar Säfström and Jimmy Wilhelmsson, and they do all of the writing and research to create these wonderful books. So this is, I believe, the second or third of these amazing books that they have created. The first being a history of the Äventyrsspel company, and most recently they had a survey or collection of all of the artwork done for Cult. So this book, I found it on their website, and so they had stock after their Kickstarter, and ordered it. And because of, I think, the way that the payment was processed, there wasn't any shipping. calculated. So I wrote them and said, please, send me an invoice for the shipping. And Orvar wrote me back and said, I don't think you I don't think you want to see the bill for this shipping. This was in the midst of the pandemic, of course, is when I was doing all of the lore work for Mutant Chronicles. And he said it's going to be really expensive, or maybe you want to think again about this. But I doubled down and said, no, I will pay whatever it takes because I really wanted to see this book, and it's a beautiful presentation. As you can see, it's a large format, full color book. And so just to make it more worthwhile, I also went with the t-shirt with that. Look at that great original Mutant logo. And because we had some back and forth, we had to go back and forth for a while to make this actually happen. I was they threw in a bunch of extra stickers and things from the previous things that they've done. So I've got some excellent stickers and refrigerator magnets and things to support this. So thank you very much, Fandrake. You guys are wonderful. You went above and beyond to actually get this all the way to Japan. So let's take a look at this book and make it worthwhile. So one of the things that I hope happens with looking at this book on the video, and also linking to some of their other campaigns, is we can get enough interest to see English language versions of these books produced, because the translation wouldn't be impossible, much easier than Japanese, but it's really great history that now I think because of companies like Modifius and Free League, and also Riot Minds, we're becoming more aware of what's being produced in Sweden, and now it's being translated and distributed into the English-speaking world. So this is the Lizardman skin version that they did as a Kickstarter bonus, and so it's got beautiful gold lettering and a nice leather. A poor Lizardman is missing his skin because of this. Let's take a look and see what they did for this. Nice. And so this is the cover artwork. So the other version of this book features this illustration as the cover artwork. And so you can see right away that this setting is a little bit reminiscent of something like Gamma World that was came out at that time. So post-apocalyptic survival, and so anthropomorphic animals, robots, and things like that. Oh, and here we go. We've got the whole timeline of the setting. So when the world fell, and I think Mutant Year Zero, the one thing that I read is it actually takes place a little bit earlier, a little bit closer to the apocalypse than the original Mutant. So the original Mutant, there was decades after the collapse of the world, and when things started to kind of recover, and Mutant Year Zero opted to go more directly so that they could lean more into the mutations and things. But already you can see really nice production quality. Really gorgeous paper. Yeah, look at that nice gloss. Yeah, so things reproduce so much better in a nice gloss. So here's the original credit page from Mutant. And all the critics. So Friedrich Malmberg, of course, that name might be familiar now. And also with, so Mikael Peterson and Gunilla Jonsson were, and also so this was something that also came up through Free League games like Forbidden Lands and things, is Niels Gulliksson. We didn't know too much of his work outside of Sweden, but he had illustrated so much of Swedish roleplay, so he was very synonymous with that whole collection of games, and now we got to see much more of his art. Wow. So there's a forward. And right away, so we're seeing some Simon Stollenhag's illustrations. Nice. Oh, nice. And they give us a little bit of Sweden in 1984. So the Eurythmics. And what exactly was going on. And so, Tales from the Loop is another, Sweden in the 80s that Free League produced. So this is, what's the context for when Mutant came out? So, of course, Dungeons & Dragons had made it there. And then Sweden had its own version. And all of the early role-playing games, including Mutant, used the basic role-play system. So the Greg Stafford and Lynn Willis basic role-play powered all of the early games, which you probably know from Call of Cthulhu and RuneQuest, games like that. Oh yes, and I've seen copies of this magazine as well, Syncadus. They had a lot of, similar to like Dragon Magazine or things, or White Dwarf in the UK. They supported a lot of role-play games, and so there was a lot of supplements and things. In fact, in here there were expanded rules and even tiles on some of the pages for Siege of the Citadel. So really good stuff. And there we go. There's a original ad for Gamma World. So that's the, I think the big influence. Wow, this is really, oh yeah, there we go. This is really good. And then the influences of the setting. So Stalker, Road Warrior, Escape from New York. And the original book that I think inspired a lot of this, like anytime there's post-apocalyptic with a zone and with stalkers, with hunters that, are surviving and scavenging in the zone, is Roadside Picnic. So I think that was in the 60s, written in the 60s. But that was, kind of the big influence for everything going on. So this mysterious zone that had, alien technology left behind and survivors in an irradiated landscape. Oh, look at this. There's going to be great archival. So original binder with Mutant and Mutant Chronicles. Oh, this is great. Wow. So yeah, early typewriter notes of and handwritten character sheets and things. This is great. Yeah, and early rules, initiative, mutations. So cool. And here's an example. So the Niels Gullikson illustration style. You definitely recognize that from Forbidden Lands. Most recently, nice. And so, this looks like a back cover. Yeah, it looks like they're from the the company. So early Mutant from the company that brought you Dragons and Demons. And I think the original version was a box set. I think I've seen that shown off as well. Oh, and Paul Anderson, Traitor to the Stars. Oh, excellent. Yeah, and I think the original setting, I think it was a Swedish setting. So the survivors were... So similar to how Free League is doing that, they're usually using Swedish settings and then offering some other alternatives or ways to make your own setting. They're doing a lot of the Tales from the Loop, and even Twilight 2000 has a Swedish setting. Excellent. So maybe early offices. I love those photos. Oh, this is great. Yeah. And the anthropomorphic, I think what became now in Mutant Year Zero, the Gene Lab. So all of the animal experiments. Wow, this is really great. And again, more tables and rules written on typewriters. That's amazing. Yeah, this is it's really fun to see this really early stuff. And this is early 80s. Oh, it looks like an early adventure. Necropolis. And vehicles. And a bear in a tuxedo. Of course. Oh wow, it must be a convention. 86. Spelkongress. 1986. Wow. '80s game conventions. Look at, they include so many illustrations. This is really great. Yeah, the quality of this book is amazing. These pages are really nice and thick, and everything is reproduced so well. Because this is, a lot of yellow torn pages. Oh, so here they're talking about, the relationship between Mutant and Gamma World. So the influences and, so Gamma World using a destroyed U.S., yeah, like North American setting. Oh, yes, and Metamorphosis Alpha, of course. Yeah, post-apocalyptic with a surviving from a ship, kind of a generation ship. Yeah, that's the interesting thing about that setting is that the players, I mean, you would know kind of meta outside of the game, you would know, but the characters in the game aren't supposed to know that they're even on a ship. They don't have any idea that there's any world beyond the ship, and how things have developed there is the only world that they know. Wow. Different design documents. A huge D100 table. Excellent. Oh, this is great. Ah, Kamandi. Kamandi the Last Earth Boy. Ah, a DC comic. Yeah, I'm curious how much American comics made it. I know that like the Phantom and like some random characters were popular in comic books in Sweden, but I don't know how a lot of the real mainstream superheroes did. Planet of the Apes, all the good post-apocalyptic. Nice. Oh, yeah. Well, that looks... Yeah, I don't know this character. That's really great. From DC. I'll have to look him up. But yeah, it definitely looks very post-apocalyptic and more. Excellent art. Wow. Yeah, great illustrations. Yeah, a lot of the influences MODOK. A lot of influences from comics. That's interesting from American comics. Of course, yeah, all of roleplay really does benefit from, you know, pop culture influences and people wanting to play in certain worlds that they've, you know, just watched or read. That's really cool. All right, and more influence. Of course, Moorcock's influence on... Oh, yeah, yeah. Moorcock's influence on dragons and demons. Oh, nice. It's Imram. William Barnwell, yeah. Interesting. Yeah, shared art. And there's the, yeah, the classic logo. Yeah, I couldn't resist the t-shirt. It had the gradient and everything. It's excellent. Wow, this is great. Yeah, it's giving so much context to all the influences. You don't see that often at all. Oh, wow, there we go. And the typeface for Mutant. If this hasn't been done, somebody can definitely make a font from that. Yeah, it looks like, oh no, they're specifically talking about, oh, there we go. The ITC Pioneer 2 is the font that they chose. And, yeah, places that it's appeared. So, yeah, a font of the time and maybe very evocative of the time period. Nice, yeah, Pioneer. That's great. Well, now I know. When I do the thumbnail for this video, now I know what font to find. So Peter Johnson, Niels Wilhelmsson. Yeah, more inspiration. Oh, interesting. Sword making. So post-apocalyptic. Yeah, so yeah, further supplements. Yeah, so they kept supporting the game. Oh, that's right. And then Mutant 2, like in what, 86, I think so. Yeah, just 2 years later, there was a sequel already, and published all throughout the 80s. So maybe changing the setting up a little bit, or expanding it. Oh, interesting. Oh, yeah, there we go. That looks familiar from the Stickers. Combat cards. From the creators of Mutant. So yeah, so Mutant 2, and then Ragnarok after. So further expansion, and you can see it's looking more and more like Mutant Chronicles. Body armor and weapons are getting more advanced. Hindenburg. So maybe already some of the things that were the background story of the kind of collapse of Earth are probably being developed in Mutant. And the sheet music. Oh, this is great. Hindenburg. Nice vehicles. Ah, this is really gorgeous. And still, yeah, typewritten rule sheets and things. Yeah, that's so 80s. There's no desktop publishing at that time, so you're laying it out or typing it out. So influences, yeah, on Mutant, yeah, Mech Warrior, combat cars we saw. Whoa. Nice, so Niels Gluckson. Is it a cover illustration? A big illustration. Yeah, look at how, I love when they do full page reproductions, or we're going to see, I saw online a little flip through of this right after, for the Kickstarter. And I know there's some Paul Bonner art coming up for the later books and games. Nice. Ah, Bob Larkin. Oh, interesting. Yeah, so the Mutant Chronicles role-playing game, RPG, and I think also Warzone and things were localized in the U.S. So we had a lot of that great writing comes from Heartbreaker, helping them localize it for the English-speaking market. And I think it was the first game that came out in both English and Swedish at the same time, the Mutant Chronicles. More Cyberpunk. Yeah, right, so we had Cyberpunk 2020, the Artasarian game is out. And of course, yeah, so then that influenced Mutant, and they did kind of their own take on Cyberpunk, which we'll see in just a minute. Oh, and then, yes, and then it's already Target Games by this time. Yeah, so getting a little more cyberpunk influence. There we go. Yeah, there we go. The dark future. Look at that cover. It's great. Yeah, this I love. Yeah, that's the look. So 2089 is their kind of future cyberpunk setting. Snake Plissken, Mad Max. Yeah, so basically, yeah, how to build those, stat out those characters in Mutant. Wow, look at all the expansions. Tokyo, wow. A Tokyo setting, a Shanghai setting, Epsilon. Cyberzone. Techno 2090. Wow, there's a lot of books that were produced. Yeah, looking more and more sci-fi, cyberpunk, less just purely post-apocalyptic. Yeah, everything is really reproduced well. It's great to see all these covers, and I like how they do the front and the back, so the explanation of the setting from the original book. Cul-de-sac. Svart. Oh, so maybe, Judge Dredd influenced. Nice. Berlin City. Krim. Nice. So yeah, the Mutant 2089. Oh, and here's some illustration plates. Look at that. That's great. Try to get some of that shine off of there. Thomas Feiner. Yeah, very distinctive. Yeah, Thomas Feiner illustrations. Awesome. Yeah, this is looking much more Mutant Chronicles, much more, yeah. It's interesting how the game evolved along with what was going on with sci-fi trends and a lot of pop culture. Oh, excellent. Oh, this is great. Yeah, the sources of a lot of the, cover illustrations. That's great. All right. Yeah, so Reamden, I think was the closest thing, because this is the beginning of cult and the that kind of pantheon of evil introduced into the setting. Here we go. Yeah, already we're getting, so we saw a couple of these. So here's the Space Crusade, which I think gave them the idea. Yeah, we can do a big sci-fi box set. Valkyria Force. There we go. Now it's starting to look very recognizably Mutant Chronicles. Nephrites. There we are. Wow. Ah, yeah, so here we go. So this is, what we recognize from cover of Mutant Chronicles and Warzone. So this is their rimmed setting. So the Dark Galaxy. Yeah, so expanding into space. So there's, very early Operation Kirkwood, early Mutant Chronicles. And still Adventure Spiel. Producing. Oh, here we go. So, some Niels Gullickson. I've never seen this before. Wow. Yeah, very recognizably Mutant Chronicles. Bauhaus. Looking like Capitol. Wow. Yeah, and Ilion's mark on her forces. Wow, yeah, this is all very... we are there already. I think combining the iconography and things from what they developed for Cult into this world. And you can see we must be in the 90s. Yeah, 92 was Mutant. So you can see the 90s comic book influence. A lot of Image Comics style look to these pages. And here we are. Blood Berets. Front and back of the box. That's great. Algaroth. Yeah, some early, sketches. Yeah, this is all the very beginnings of this. And then there we go, Heartbreaker and the first Heartbreaker miniatures for the Dark Legion. Alakai's forces, nice. That's actually, is it? Yeah, the Alakai miniature. Wow, there we go. Some logo designs. Yeah, we saw, yeah, something very similar to this in the first. Oh, this is still first Warzone, but yeah, even the Chronicles and Warzone still holds on to that. Interesting. Yeah, so of course, there we go. Yeah, Hero Quest as an influence for Siege of the Citadel. Magic Handbook, Mutant Chronicles, yeah, promotion for Mutant Chronicles. Then Siege of the Citadel. And then the first... Oh, the Clansman, yeah, the Clash of the Fury of the Clansman game as well. And right, another... So, Blood Berets, Fury of the Clansman, and Siege of the Citadel. Oh, wow, look at that. The pencil, I'll get this closer to the camera. Pencil rendering of the cover, original cover art. That's great. So Les Edwards, original sketch. And then here's, yeah, the painted version on the opposite side. Oh, great. Oh, there's so much, yeah. Oh, yeah, and then already they're talking about the Kickstarter when it was rebooted there, everything. It's so sad that they had such difficulty fulfilling this, and then it just kind of went away. Look at all that stuff that came in the Kickstarter. Here's, yeah, so here's Fury the Clansman. So very similar, yeah, to Blood Berets, the tiles and minis and tokens and same dice system. Wow. There we go. Yeah, now we're seeing it. So, Mutant for the international market. And here's all of our iconography, the original ones. Oh, and Paul Bonner. Yeah, that's right. Paul Bonner holding the cover art for the original Mutant Chronicles roleplay. All right. Oh, here we go. Excellent. Bauhaus soldiers. Yeah, there it is. And yeah, right, Doom is out by that time, so definitely an influence. Wow. There we go. Yeah, Venetian Apocalypse. Doom Trooper cards. And the the miniatures for Siege of the Citadel. Wow, look at, yeah, this is the original painted on the board, the little thumbnails. And, oh, wow. Oh, and the reboot. Yeah, so after 97. Oh, interesting. Yeah, they were going to do, wow, there's a lot of, yeah, there's a lot in here. So I'll definitely have to go through and do a more comprehensive telling in English of all the of all that was going to happen in the history of this game. They really lay everything out very nicely, and it's nice that you already have the influences, everything spelled out, so it'll be a fun story to tell. So Mutant Chronicles and Modifius. It's a shame they let go of that license. And Doom Trooper. Yeah, there we go. Of course, Magic made every collectible card game seem like a good idea at the time. Wow, yeah, lots of the promotion. Yeah, so this must have been one of the last things that they were working on. And last things they were producing. It's probably one of the last things that was making money. Oh, there's the packs for the, yeah, cover it for all the packs. And the James Bond, the Crow. Oh, that's right. There was a Crow card game. James Bond and what is this? Wow. Oh, Cult. There was a Cult, yeah. Collectible card game for Cult. Yeah, it was crazy. Once Magic was successful, there were so many imitators. Excellent. A Simon Beasley piece. Yeah, that's right. He did the comics as well. Dark Eden, yeah. The beginning and the end of Mutant Chronicles. Yeah, so we've got some great Paul Bonner art coming up. Look at that. Yeah, that's so great. They produced everything. So yeah, this is the Dark Eden cover with the skulls and everything. Yeah, and all the tribes represented. Wow. Oh, that's right. And in 2017, yeah, Justin Renard at, what is it? Oh, I'm totally blanking on the name. Yeah, they crowdfunded a digital Doom Trooper, a digital collectible card game for Doom Trooper. Nice. What, I'm totally blanking. Hidden Cow Level, the name of the company. But yeah, it's really, it doesn't have a lot of flash, but it's a very playable version of the game. So it runs well. You know, they didn't do anything too over the top with effects and stuff, so it runs really well. Nice. And hopefully they'll be continuing. They'll actually go beyond what was published before. And of course, the Super Nintendo game. That's something that needs to go on the channel. Nice. Right, so here's, yeah, context for Warzone. So, of course, yeah, the inspiration of Games Workshop. So, yeah, kind of a similar. And so a lot of people, yeah, it's instead of, they just, people have complained that it just looks like a weaker imitation of Warhammer, but they evolved at the exact same time. So it's not like the Warhammer 40k of today was fully formed. It was still the Rogue Trader era that they hadn't even come up with a Horus Heresy or anything yet. Oh, nice. So cards, or silly stat blocks, and the early miniatures, metal, all metal stuff from Heartbreaker. Early Warzone covers. Oh wow, look at that display. Look at all those blister packs. Yeah, Sinkadus more. Yeah, they really heavily covered. There's so much content for the Mutant Chronicles setting in there. And then the end. Oh wow, so this is talking about kind of, yeah, the collapse of Target Games. That's something I'm definitely want to find out more about. Oh, and the legacy of the film. Probably how everyone has heard, everyone that's never heard of Mutant Chronicles has at least heard of the Mutant Chronicles film, and yeah, how in the world it connects. Interesting. The script. There was a script. Wow. Oh, that's great. Oh, Target Games. Oh, so a letter to Paul Bonner from Niels Gullikson. Oh, nice. Talking, kind of consulting about the art. Wow. Yeah, so some movie production work. Interesting. Yeah, I was really surprised to see there were some behind-the-scene photos, and originally Ghosts of Mars, the John Carpenter film, was supposed to be another Mutant Chronicles film, because they have there's Dark Legion emblems on the cult mutants that they discover on Mars. So that was actually the original idea. So maybe they lost the license, or there was some, disagreement about the story or whatever. But yeah, there's some early post-production where you see on the foreheads of some of the cultists actual dark symmetry and dark legion marks. So it was a dark, a cult of dark influence. That would have been great. A John Carpenter directed movie. Oh, here we go. So Paul Bonner, Paolo Berente, and Peter Bergting. I think he's the one that does all the gorgeous marker, the nice marker work. If I remember. Oh, here we go. Yes, all the layouts and roughs and final painted versions. Look at that. And I like that they did those the kind of symmetrical, so the front and back cover as one piece, so it's wraparound art. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, these are reproduced really well. It's so nice to have this. Yeah, they just didn't do justice. That collector's book that Modifius did was just not great quality. I don't know why they chose this weird matte, kind of really porous paper, but this is how you reproduce this art. It's great. Yeah, so these are all the source books for Bauhaus and Imperial and Cybertronic. Wow. And Paolo and Simon Beasley. Oh yeah. The whole source book for kind of comic book form. Source book. Oh wow. Nice. Yeah, these must be comic covers. Nice. Oh yeah, these guys, this is the art I'm thinking of. Nice. Yeah, I like this this really graphic stuff, especially when they're producing just black and white books for the RPG. This real bold marker work looks really good. Oh wow. A giant map. Is this lunar? Oh no, this must be for the role-playing game for Venusian Apocalypse. So the Bauhaus city of, what is it? Yeah, it must be the capital city on Mars. Wow, look at that. There we go. And Mutant continuing. Oh, this is great. Yeah, there's a lot of really great archival stuff in here. Stuff, that I've never seen before. Probably because it was only, used for the Swedish products. But yeah, this looks like the bringing it back in the year zero. Mutant Scandinavia. Oh, nice. Yeah, so it wasn't until, I think, about the same time that it came back in Sweden as well, the year zero setting. Wow. Wow, they actually produced, look at that. They produced the robot in scale. Wow, what was this for? I have to go back and look through. Oh, and here we go. And here's Free Leagues, yeah, year 0. Oh, really? Influence from the Marvel superheroes. Interesting. Yeah, I wonder if that was, yeah, D6. So because this is the first game to use the year 0 engine, so the thing that we've seen Free League evolve. Go. Oh yeah. So influence from Fallout. There we go. I'm glad they kept the original look of the Mutant logo. So Mutant Year 0 in Sweden. Yeah, there's our Gene Lab animals. Oh, that's right, and they've since released Elysium. And the robot version as well. I keep forgetting. Oh, yeah. Simon Stolenhag. And there's the cover, yeah, we just saw the cover of year 0. Yeah, without that English release, it would have I would have never made connections that this was all coming kind of from the same sources, and how much there was related, how much like continuity and how much it was related. Ah, so yeah, I just do some game work. Oh, that's right, and the Mutant Year 0 PC game, The Road to Eden, is really good. If you want to get a taste for this setting, it's kind of XCOM turn-based combat, but it really accurately reproduces. There's the render, the title screen from the game. Really is an accurate reproduction of the mechanics and gameplay in the game. It works really well. Oh, the novels. Oh, nice. Oh, so were these ever produced? Bill King's trilogy. Wow. Bauhaus Blood, Ilion Island, and Limbo Legion. Were those ever made? I'll have to read about. Wow, that would be great, because yeah, these are the only the Apostle of Insanity is the only trilogy I know. But if these got, yeah, these look like just mock-ups though. But that'd be great if there's some text out there. Oh, and even books, yeah, supporting Mutant Year 0. Nice. Wow. There we go. Excellent. And the rest of the timeline. Oh, great. Yeah, these end papers are nice. Wow, what a book. That's great. So, yeah, I want to definitely use this as a source to put together a video to kind of link everything together to do the timeline. You know, something that goes beyond like a Wikipedia page or something, because there's so much in here where they're talking about influences and people involved. So this has been the Mutant Memories from the Forbidden Zone collection done by Fandrake from Sweden. So currently there is no English language version of this, as I believe the same with their history of Adventurspiel. But hopefully, if you like what you saw, definitely get on their website and let them know that you would love to see an English version of this, because with crowdfunding, that could make that possible. And I'm going to enjoy all of my stickers and magnets and postcards. Yeah, so there's some of the artwork that we saw in the inside. Yeah, this is great. So thank you very much for going through this with me. I was so happy to find this. This is such a treasure. And keep your eye on Fandrake and see if they, because I know they recently reproduced a classic board game, a classic Swedish board game, and they're doing a lot of they're busy doing a lot of projects. And I think the Cult's art book concluded recently, so that might make its way to their web store as well. So if you're in the US or Europe, it'll be a lot easier to get your hands on the books that they've done. But the format is just gorgeous. This is a great large format, full color glossy book. So everything that they reproduce is just unbelievable. Yeah, it's really gorgeous. I'm so happy to have so much of this cover art, without titles and things over it, reproduced like this. It's really nice. So yeah, so now I have some translation and more research to do to put together a kind of a comprehensive survey from Mutant in '84 all the way to what we saw for 3rd edition Mutant Chronicles and Mutant Year Zero and Warzone and everything. So another kind of survey history video coming up. Yeah, I really liked finding these pieces that connected and realizing that it was all coming from the same sources. This was really fun. So thank you so much, Orvar, for making this possible, getting this book into my hands. I know that was not easy. And the times that we're in, shipping and everything is very difficult. Oh, there's their logo in the back there. So here's the guys. So give a search to Fandrake. I'll put a link to their website so you can see the other projects that they've worked on, and keep an eye out on Kickstarter for things that they're doing, and bug them to do some English versions. Let's get some interest in this. So if you have interest in Swedish roleplay, these guys are really doing great kind of complementary research and collections of supporting this whole tradition from the 80s and 90s. And it's something that's, just recently come to light for English-speaking audiences. So really, really enjoying it, and can't be happier to have such a beautiful piece like this. This is so nice. So keep an eye out for a history video, kind of going through the origin and development of Mutant, because it's something that it's covered randomly out there. I've seen bits and pieces, but I'd like to put everything all together, and this will be a really useful resource for doing that. So thank you so much for watching. Please visit upturntable.com, our website, where we have everything, and give us a like on this video, and share it if you want, if there's anybody you know would like to see inside this book. And just a little bit about the connective history. We just kind of, basically went through some things, so I'll do an English version of that with some nice voiceover and graphics to give you the full story. If you'd like to support what we're doing, please consider being a patron. Patreon.com/upturntable to support this video and more work like our lower videos and actual plays and the things that we do here. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.